What's good, everybody? In this episode, I want to break down making the transition from an operator to a CEO. Let's get it going.
For 3 years, my agency built funnels and automation systems for the biggest names in marketing today. Since then, I've transformed that agency into a hyper-profitable training and consulting business. While everyone is out there talking about scale like it's some sort of destination, we'll be asking the real question. How do you transform your business into a more scalable model using the knowledge, skills, and expertise that you already have? This podcast is here to give you the answer. Join me and follow along as I learn, apply, and share the strategies I'm using to build my multi-million-dollar business. My name is Greg Hickman, and welcome to Scalable.
Welcome back, y'all. So in this video, I want to break down our podcast. I don't even know what to call these things anymore because, if you've been following along, we got the YouTube channel where we're releasing the videos of this, and we also got the podcast. It's a podcast, right? It's a podcast. But in this episode, we are breaking down this notion of making that transition from an operator to a CEO. And oftentimes by a lot of our clients and a lot of our prospects, they talk about or ask us rather, how are we able to kind of get out of the day-to-day operations of our work, right? As former agency owners, someone who was like a done-for-you service provider, I very much built my business off of the back and the heels of my own technical capabilities, right? Greg was there, hands to keyboard, doing the actual work. We were building sales funnels, we were building automation for our clients, and the business was me. Now, there are still parts of the business that are very much me. We're not at the point where the business operates completely outside of me, but I was 100% the operator. Like if Greg was not involved, nothing would move forward. Now, if that's you need to start figuring out the way to make the transition into CEO. So I wanted to talk a little bit about the difference between, or at least how we look at it, as when you're the operator and when you're the CEO, and some of the things that you might need to be doing to start bridging that gap. Sound good? So let's jump over here. So we're jumping over to the iPad for those listening. We obviously have the two positions, right? We have operator and we have CEO. Okay, now as the operator, right, you are the marketing, right? You are sales. You are delivery, right? AKA, the business is you, right? Oftentimes as the operator, as the technician, if your business is doing technical work, building websites, doing Facebook ads, or whatever sort of digital marketing agency you might be, you're oftentimes building things, right? And it started getting built by you, right? Even though you're the owner. And oftentimes when you're stuck in the operator side, a lot of these things are being done manually, right? The ideas, rather, actually, I won't say ideas, we'll say the systems exist, but the systems are in your head, right? You haven't gotten the ideas and the process that you currently operate in and gotten it out of your head and onto paper, right? So those are some of the things that we see as you're still in operator mode. Now, as you move over to the CEO, your tasks, your responsibilities start to evolve, right? You, as a CEO, you are a builder of systems, right? You take those systems out of your head, you're putting them onto documentation, you're able to hand those off to somebody else, and they go execute, right? As a CEO, you are a builder of people, right? Now, every time I say builder of people, instantaneously the solopreneurs and the people that want to live that passive income lifestyle, which is complete BS, is that they're like, I don't want to hire a team. Now, look, if you want to build a business that has like the largest possible impact, you're going to have to get help, period. Or else you're always going to be the operator. That's just how it is. So You have to be the builder of people. That means you have to bring people on. In many cases, you're going to have some sort of lean and mean full-time team. That kind of rhymes. And or you'll be operating with some contractors or a combination of both. And as you start to grow, you might want to have more of an internal team. I know as we keep growing, I want more and more people internal to our business and less contract positions, right? We want everyone living and breathing our mission. And so I need to be a builder of systems. Then I need to be a builder of people so that I can put those people in charge of those systems. And then I get to, lead people, right? Now, if you had asked me 2 years ago, like, would you like to be managing a team? Would you like to be building a team? I would have said, hell no. Like that doesn't sound interesting to me. And in fact, I often sounded like many of you right now if you're sitting there saying, I don't want a team at all. But let me tell you, as you start to have the systems in place, right? As you start to have the systems in place, as you start to build people, one of my favorite things is to start working and helping develop my team so that they can do things without me. I fall more and more in love with that every single day, right? And as I do that, the need to bring on new people starts to grow. And that gets me really excited. The opportunity to bring new people into our team that are better than us in certain areas and are going to allow us to grow faster is really exciting, so that I can show up as the CEO where I'm really just leading people, right? So when I think of what a CEO does, is they're a builder of systems, they're a builder of people, and that they lead people, right? They're also the vision in the organization. And you need to be able to translate that vision to your team so that they know what they're working on and so that they're efficient. Oftentimes, when you have team and you feel like they're dragging you down, it's because they're probably being delegated tasks instead of delegated outcomes. And you haven't been able to delegate outcomes because you haven't clearly communicated the vision of where you want them to go, and everyone's not bought in, right? So we need to be someone who creates the vision, then builds systems that allow us to start to remove ourselves as the operator, right? Give us as the owner some time back to get more sales, to work on the things we need to do, to go hire people, to get the help, to serve our clients, right? If you never start building systems as the owner, you're always going to be doing things manually, right? We're always stuck over here doing things manually. The business is still you, and the systems are in our head. So what you really need to start doing, you might be saying, well, Greg, I only have a tiny bit of help, 1 or 2 people, or a contractor this or contractor that, or maybe I don't have anybody yet. How do I start acting like a CEO? Well, how I've always looked at it is you need to start knowing your role, right? Like, know your role is really the story here. So as we start looking at, how do we make this transition from operator to CEO? I want you to start thinking about how can you, let's pull up a different color here. How can you start acting in the needed role? What do I mean by that? I mean, so when you're doing the work, right? If you're over here and you're still the operator and you're doing work in, say, the marketing, well, like, what role are you actually acting as? Maybe you're like the marketing coordinator. If you're stuck in delivery and you're in the fulfillment, maybe you're like the account manager. So understanding that while you are the owner and maybe you are wearing all of these hats, you're the operator, right? There are different hats that you're wearing in your business that you're acting in while you're over in operator. So starting to understand what those hats are really important, because it helps you to start mapping out what sorts of people are you going to need to hire. And then also you need to say, okay, well, I need to start wearing the CEO hat a little bit more. As the CEO, I put my CEO hat on, and I'm going to go over here and I'm going to start building a sales system so that I can remove myself or make my current role as the sales coordinator a lot easier, right? You start adopting automation and mapping out your sales process. The way in which you enroll new clients and sell new clients, that whole sales experience is going to be streamlined and you're going to be more efficient, right? And as you become more efficient as the sales rep, you have more time to spend wearing one of these other hats, right? So you need to start dedicating time to wearing your CEO hat and doing the things that a CEO should be working on. That is how you start making this transition, right? And really what you're looking at is each of these become their own system: sales, marketing, delivery. In a previous video, a previous podcast, we've talked about the 4 CEO systems. You're going to start building your CEO systems over here as well, right? You're going to start working on your habit systems, your planning systems, your creation systems, your accountability systems. So when you're operating in your business each and every week, each and every day, you need to start looking for, and this is where the 4 CEO systems come in, you need to start building the habits and start planning to have CEO time, right? And in those CEO creation blocks, so to speak, you're going to start doing the things that you would be doing as the CEO of your business. You're not operating as the marketing coordinator. You're not acting as the account rep. You're not acting as, the sales rep, whatever. You are the CEO. What would a CEO do in this role right now? All right, well, we're going to start building a system to make sure our clients always get the exact same results, like they get the results that they want. So I'm going to start building this system first around client success, or I'm going to start building this system first around sales. But this is how you start making the transition, right? So people are like, how did you make the transition? I was like, well, I honestly started dedicating time to doing CEO things, right? And I had to make that time in my calendar, which means I had to say no to a lot of other stuff, right? This wasn't just me adding more time in the evenings and on the weekends, which it was also that at times. But as you start building some of these systems that you would as a CEO, as you start planning accordingly, you'll have more freedom because you'll have people doing a lot of the operations within the specific hats that you've identified as the operator within your business. So if you really want to start moving forward and start building a business that serves you, a business that you can actually take a vacation and not actually work on that vacation, you need to start acting like a CEO. And the way you start making that transition is start acting and operating within the needed role. And sometimes that role is for you to make time and act as the CEO.
If I gave you 5 to 10 new clients, would you or your agency break? If so, your current agency model is broken. I struggled with this too until I found a better way. By adding online programs, training, and coaching to our agency, we doubled profits without adding more hours. If you want to work directly with me and my team to transform your agency, visit myscalablebusiness.com to learn more.